Howdy, howdy, howdy. Yeah, it's true. I am back and I am ready to play. So let's see. First of all, Wingspan, how you doing? Great seeing you, darling. I see we have Mr. Nicky in the house tonight. And Nicky, always great as always. Tyrants beware. Good to see. Good to see. All righty. Well, thank you very much. I'm glad to be back. It is time to party. Hey, hey. How's everybody doing this evening? First of all, I want to say thank you to everyone for all your kind posts and messages. Uh, it all meant a lot. I really appreciate it. So, while I was gone, I kind of was watching the YouTube, keeping up with it. Oh, thank you very much, Miss Nikki. Yeah, I know. Uh, yeah, my mother always loved me without the beard. The first night that I went to visit her, leaned down to give her a kiss, she scratched her nose and said it was tickling her. So I went ahead and shaved it off for her, and hell, it'll grow back. It ain't no big deal. Yeah. I can actually show Kaiser and some of the rest of them how long it takes a real man to grow a fucking beard. Well, I think you're there. Appreciate it there, Wings fan. Uh, hell, if that's the case, I'll have to keep it shaved. But anyway, like I said, I was keeping up with what was going on, all of Dipshit's comments and his attack on my GoFundMe, which without really having to say anything, I know everybody that really knows me and Chris both know damn well that Chris had absolutely nothing to do with it. And Mr. Kaiser, his dumbass, even made a comment about Chris driving to Nashville to mail the letters. Did not drive to Nashville and mail the letters, as dipshit had to say. And on another subject, Mr. Jerk My Johnson Scarborough wants to talk a bunch of shit. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, his comment was that I'm just a little chew toy to play with until this big fireworks explosion that they keep talking about, which whatever the fuck that is, who knows? I want to know how they're going to pull off some fireworks display or explosion from behind bars, because that's where they're fucking headed. As to that, uh, this chew toy has teeth and it fucking bites back. So we're going to do a little investigating there, Mr. Jerkmon Johnson. You know, I've gotten some information. At this point, it's still, you know, unconfirmed, but it will be found out for sure. That there's more children in your family than just the one that you have been having the issues with Chris. Anything you want to tell us about that there, superstar? Something about some incidents that happened in Tennessee? Hmm? Hmm. Inquiring minds want to know. And bet your fucking bottom dollar they're going to find out. So we'll see about that a little later. Get right here now. If y'all haven't catched public safety's post tonight, this afternoon, we're going to bring up a little bit about that. See, Mr. Scarborough is under investigation by the Ethics Committee, and it's made mainstream news. Oh, give me just a minute to pull up this.
I'm not too late. The Meade County jailer is scheduled for an ethics commission hearing next week after a complaint about abuse of public trust. The Meade County Ethics Commission said it received a complaint from former jailer Troy Seal, who is also accusing the current jailer J.J. Scarborough of improper use of public funds, abuse of power, and conflict of interest. The complaint alleges that Scarborough violated the code of ethics by giving one employee unmerited raises. Scarborough tells WDRB News the allegations against him are false and more information will be coming out.
So, looks like some investigating has been going on here into Mr. Scarborough's activity. And I have done a little bit of reading up myself. Let's switch this real quick. If you're not familiar with Hey, good evening, Mr. Freddie. I'm so glad to see you, my buddy. Pretty says, well, I'll be if it isn't my big brother. It's a pleasure to hear from you, partner. Been doing God's work and worrying, and it doesn't work that way. God bless you, Mo. Thank you, brother. Um, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna say this um, because I love y'all, and then we're gonna get back to business. Um, you know, my mother progressed pretty rapidly, um, and she passed very peacefully. I was very blessed to be able to be at her side and hold her hand all the way to the end. And basically, she just went to sleep. So she's in a much better place, in a lot less pain, and walking on streets of gold. And one day I'll see her again. So, again, thank all of you for your kind words and your support. And we really appreciate it, everybody. So, now back to the point at hand. Da, da, da. Code of ethics. Every state county representative has a code of ethics that they have to abide by. And we're going to do a little looking into this one. Now, I was doing some reading on this, and it goes on to explain a lot of subjects. But down here at the bottom, back up to right here. Right here. Let's read this. Can y'all let me blow it up as big as I can get it here. Zoom in here. Hold on just a minute. Here we go. Now, standards of conduct adopted by the board include the avoidance of language or gestures that could be considered abusive, conduct off the job that could cast public doubt on the integrity or competence of the county government, creating a positive work environment in public meetings, and tolerate differing viewpoints. Right here, this line right here is the important one. Conduct off the job that could cast public doubt on the integrity and the competence of the county government. Now, I don't know about y'all, but what I have seen on Mr. Kaiser's channel of JJ, Mr. Jerkmont Johnson, uh, has not very well presented a very positive um, view of Meade County. In fact, in my opinion, he has cast as much doubt as it could be. He has, if he has not created doubt about conspiracy and uh, odd going ons, then I don't know who would, because that to me has been the main thing that I see. Now, I'm gonna pull a Chris here. Y'all put a one in the chat if you think that Mr. JJ has represented the county in a very negative light. Yeah, I see that I'm not the only one that feels that way. So, what can we do about that? What you can do about this is you can send a letter to the Ethics Branch and Commission of the Commonwealth of Kentucky. And it just so happens that I have saved you some trouble and looked it up for you. Right here is the ethics board. Uh, just do a simple search and it'll bring it right up. It explains everything about it. But right down at the bottom, right here, is all the information. The Executive Branch of Ethics Commission, their address in Frankfort, Kentucky, their phone number, their fax number, and their email, ethicsfiler@ky.gov. So, since he's about to go up this week before the ethics committee, personally, I felt like that they needed to know more about what the people think of what he's been doing. So, from my point, I sent an email today uh, expressing my concerns about him being on a YouTube channel with a 5-time convicted felon and a possible uh, capital murderer, since he is the only suspect in a capital murder, and that the state of Alabama wanted to stick a needle in his arm. And I also included the fact that he was making light uh, and jokes about the death of a Kentucky resident, because my mother was born and raised in Kentucky. And I included the clips of him talking with Dingleberry. So if you should feel the need to add to the any investigation, they meet every Wednesday, so we have until next Wednesday before uh, he'll be having his meeting. And so if you feel like it, send in investigation committee your opinion. As a American citizen, it is your constitutional right to regress your grievances with your government. So if you don't like what this elected official is doing, because he is an elected official, he didn't get hired, he got elected by the people. So by God, when you get elected by the people, you have to answer to the people. Well, now, Mr. Jerkymouth Johnson, it's time for you to start answering some questions. And don't forget, we'll be talking about Tennessee later on. So, the last paragraph in the authority says, we invite you to report suspected violations of the executive branch of the Code of Ethics by telephone 1-800-664-7954 or by email at the Commission Executive Director at ethicsfiler@ky.gov. So that's where it did my email, was to that. That's the same that was down here, ethicsfilers.gov. But this phone number, I actually like that myself. I think I'll be making a call tomorrow on top of mine, where I can talk to somebody and express my opinions.
You might have to wait until Monday.
Oh, my head's out in the air, of course. Monday. So that's the good deal there. Let's bring it back up here.
But sorry,
Oh,
I had to, take over your show again and
Hey, I told you a million times, you're always welcome here.
and I do have to say when you first came on, it was like, "Who in the hell is that young kid?"
Oh, I I was talking to TB on the phone, and I said, "Yeah, I got something to show you when I come on." And uh, he uh, he said, "What?" I said, "I'm not going to tell you." And you just have to wait and see. He said, "Did you cut your hair?" And I said, "Hell no, I didn't cut my hair." uh, oh, yeah, it's been. Uh, the other thing, I know you guys read the 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 GoFundMe. Well, I mean, I wrote the shit in a short period of time. We was actually getting ready to head out the door. And he come up with an idea of something to try to help to get done so that we could get the kids here. These dumbasses have totally fucking just, they can't read shit. None of them. Kaiser's over talking about, all right, well, hold on. Let me just be everything I said on there first. All right. I put down that we needed 3 flights from California. Now, we looked up flights in just general, uh, and they ranged, getting one immediately ranged from around $600 to $800. So, for 3 of them, you're looking at, anywhere from 1,800 to 2,400 for 3 tickets from California. I have one daughter in San Francisco. I have one daughter in 29 Palms who has a son who my mother or even myself have never actually got to see. Uh, Bree has gone out several times and visited him on his birthday. She was there when he was born, but it's just not been economical to get 2 plane tickets to fly out there. And, you know, we got everything here. Somebody had to stay here and take care of everything in the house, So someday I do expect and hope to see him. I've got pictures of him, talk, see him, but I've just not ever had the chance. And so there was basically there was the 2 grand. All right. Then I said that uh, we was going to have to get motel rooms and that it included me and Bree because we live 2 hours away. These dumbasses all got to talking about that the flight was 2 hours away. And they're all singing songs about, well, I got all kinds of emails and fucking messages. I drive to my mama's in 2 hours. And Kaiser talking shit about his daddy going to a fucking hour and a half to pick up a kid and come back. And it's so fucking stupid. I couldn't believe it. And none of them could fucking read shit. So anyway, that was the other 3 grand was for 5 motel rooms for 11 days, which is what it ended up taking. So food and other expenses. So I rounded it up to 5 grand and put it at that. And then this dumbass wants to go trying to calculate shit and talk shit. I heard him. And the funniest one, have y'all heard about the barbecue?
No, but then again, I don't go on that channel.
He got to talking about them letters. So we know they fucking got there. Yeah, yeah. And he says that your letters didn't work out like you planned because I had a barbecue and all the neighbors were here laughing about it. And I told them exactly what happened, and they all know the whole story. And yeah, I got a cop on this side and two cops on that side, and a married cop and couple down the road, and uh, uh, two dogs fucking around a tree. I mean, all kinds of stupid shit. Now, can you imagine how that cookout went? Here, let me get you a hot dog. And by the way, I've broke into 5 houses. You want mustard with that?
Um,
Yeah, that's his fucking story. You talk about fucking stupid. Maybe he's surrounded by cops. Perhaps they are all closing in on him. He thinks they are just neighbors. He might as well get used to that. Hell yeah. That's it. Half of them are undercover watching him. You're right, Dale. Yeah, that's hilarious. Wingspan, yeah, okay. Like anyone with any amount of sense is going to believe that bullshit. Dale, right? Oh yeah, it's so fucking silly. He's got a fucking barbecue, right?
I
Dale
knew.
says the next barbecue will probably involve orange. Hell yeah, I hope so. I like all the horse shit he's been talking about. Going to take Chris's motorcycle and do all that shit. The motherfucker can't even get a driver's license.
Well, I thought about getting him a tricycle, but that's too much power for him. He might kill himself.
Yeah, no shit. If the motherfucker was going to get a motorcycle, he'd have to get a fucking 883. He couldn't handle anything any bigger. And I doubt he could handle. Probably his feet wouldn't hit the ground on the 883.
okay. Mode's echoing because I don't always mute my microphone before he talks. Um, and White Star family, thank you. I now know who you are. Um, I like White Star family better. But Mr. Lee's neighborhood is drama free is also kind of cute.
Hey, yeah, what's the deal with the 12-year-old? I caught part of that, but I didn't have time to go back and dig it up. I just Jeff and them
Oh,
was playing it, and they kept stopping it and talking, and I never got to hear the whole video, and I ain't been able to go back and pull up the actual video. So what's the deal with the 12-year-old?
well, apparently there was a child and her grandfather in the audience of Friday Wrangler, and they were wanting the members to help explain sex to the minor who apparently is now autistic. And he was trying to blame it on the drama for Discord, but it wasn't them. He actually apologized tonight, and I would have told him, yeah, where's the apology you need to give to Mode Medium for your bullshit on that? But he had me blocked, so I couldn't do it.
Uh, Little pink balance bike for Kaiser. Yeah. Uh, some bitch couldn't use any kind of balance bike before he started doing his fucking fish dance and shit. Apparently knows quite a bit about this 12-year-old. I was checking in here what all she was saying. Um, said she saw it in the chat. Uh,
Well, I didn't get to see it happen from the beginning, but I've heard about it.
White Star. Uh, he said he's learning more about this Kaiser guy you all been talking about. Apparently, the hatred runs deeper than I know, being I just learning about these arguments going on. Uh, if you notice, a lot of us, I don't, you may already know this, you may not. A lot of us have DAC past our name in parentheses. Others have a JDAC in parentheses. And this is all to support and keep the attention on this Marine who was murdered on Christmas Eve. Someone crawled into his window, shot him in the back with a weapon that had a homemade silencer on it, then walked up to the back of his head and placed two at direct point, execution style. Stole his VCR, two of his guns, I think, or maybe three. Um, Not his VCR, I'm apologizing. It was his PlayStation. Stole his PlayStation and then left. And then the family, when he didn't show up for the functions and everything that they were expecting on Christmas Eve, go checking on him. That's how they find him. And when the police did the investigation, the PlayStation had signed in to Michael Kaiser's Wi-Fi. And when they searched his house, or was it to Cameron's Wi-Fi, Nikki? Which one? Have I got it right? All right. So Phyllis was saying that it was signed into Cameron's family Wi-Fi while it was hooked up in Kaiser's house, is what it was. And anyway, they did a search of the house, and when they did, they found the PlayStation, and they found a book on how to make uh, homemade silencers, and he tried to pawn the guns. So you would think that this would be a uh, instant guaranteed conviction, uh, for sure that this was 100%. But due to some technicalities in the writing of the charges, there was a certain, you really got to watch the video on Shiz, but there was, she really breaks it down, but there was a like two paragraph or 2-line section, about 20 something words that were incorrect in the way they were presented, legal stuff. And so they asked to get the charges dismissed. Now I'm gonna get this wrong, so get ready to fix me, Nikki. Were dismissed with prejudice, and which meant that they could not bring back up the charges. So then either his lawyers and the family fought it to get it changed from with prejudice to without prejudice. So now it can be retried. They are currently investigating on it, trying to get new evidence. And there was also some talk about corrupt officials back at that time. The judge, one of the lawyers had something on the judge, and so it was a fucked up situation. But he got out of it for now. But because of the way they changed the dismissal on it, leaves the option for them to pull it back and press the charges again. it was the grand jury indictment is where the wording was at.
Now, while you were gone, there's another channel that had put out the Donald Cameron story, Southern Girl Crime Stories, and she had like just a little 3-minute thing, 4-minute maybe, all truth, all based on, the newspaper clippings, etc. And she ended up taking that one down out of her video because she and her family had been threatened.
Miss Lee is saying that Southern Girl crime story said she was threatened. Did she share who threatening her? I read the community post. I know the G boys are going to make sure it's covered. Yeah, Vegas Vips was asking that chat in Kaiser's to get it struck down.
The community post is down. The
Okay.
community post is no longer up either. Take Phyllis's comment down.
Donald Atwater Cameron Jr. was born in 1962 in Prince George County, Virginia, but lived most of his life in Mercer County, New Jersey. In 1980, he graduated from Lawrence High School and then attended Mercer County Community College. After graduating from there, he joined the Marines, but became disabled and was subsequently discharged. Those who knew Donald said he loved riding his Harley Davidson, fishing on his pontoon boat, and riding with the Patriot Guard Riders. When he was around 40 years old, he left New Jersey and moved to Ohatchee, Alabama. Unfortunately, 7 years later, Donald would be dead. On Christmas Day, 2009, Donald failed to show up at his mother's home in New Jersey as he had planned and was strangely not answering his phone. The following day, his mother called the police in Alabama and asked them to do a welfare check on Donald. When an officer arrived and entered the home, he sadly found Donald shot to death, execution style. The killer then stole Donald's PlayStation 3, which is allegedly how Michael William Kaiser became a person of interest by being caught with Donald's possessions in May of 2013. Kaiser also has prior convictions for past robberies in the same area. He was arrested and indicted for capital murder. The prosecutors then set out to seek the death penalty for killing a disabled veteran. Unfortunately, due to a clerical error, the judge dismissed the case without prejudice, which means the case can be retried. Unfortunately, as of 2024, Donald's murder remains unsolved.
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, it was a little bit longer on the original one, but it has been redone since, you know, she put it up. She took it down and made the community post about threats to her family and harassment and how the harassment wasn't worth it. So she deleted the story, and then now it's back up in just that little short blurb there.
I will be up for a little while, TB. It's up to you. I figure I'm probably good for another 45 minutes to an hour or something. Who knows?
I don't know. You keep drinking that Dr. Pepper, and you might be up all night.
You're damn right. Well, hell, I missed y'all. I hate to say it, but I have. Hey, Nikki, did you see the backyard swimming pool on Facebook about our friend
And his new woman, yes.
and in his rebel flag shorts?
Yes.
You gotta love him.
Mr. Lee's neighborhood is drama free. There's no need to apologize for that. Freddie doesn't always keep up with who's who, and when names change a lot, like, Lee from Indy and Lee Mail and all of that. So that's why he's not sure if he knows you as White Star Family. Um, and you do have a screenshot of it. Please send that to me at the Vigilance Committee 1864 at gmail.com. And then I can share it with Mode.
Vigilance Committee at Gmail.
1864 at Gmail.
VIGILANCECOMMITT
MEE
1864.
1864. Yep. And give me just a second. I can actually find the original video because TB just reminded me. He has it, and so does Old Sarge. So give me just a minute. I'm putting the link to TB's thing in there, and go to the 5-hour mark.
Donald Atwater Cameron Jr. was born in 1962 in Prince George County, Virginia, but lived most of his life in Mercer County, New Jersey. In 1980, he graduated from Lawrence High School and then attended Mercer County Community College. After graduating from there, he joined the Marines, but became disabled and was subsequently discharged. Those who knew Donald said he loved riding his Harley Davidson, fishing on his pontoon boat, and riding with the Patriot Guard riders. When he was around 40 years old, he left New Jersey and moved to Ohatchee, Alabama. Unfortunately, 7 years later, Donald would be dead. On Christmas Day, 2009, Donald failed to show up at his mother's home in New Jersey as he had planned and was strangely not answering his phone. The following day, his mother called the police in Alabama and asked them to do a welfare check on Donald. When an officer arrived and entered the home, he sadly found Donald shot to death, execution style. The killer then stole Donald's PlayStation 3, which is allegedly how Michael William Kaiser became a person of interest by being caught with Donald's possessions in May of 2013. Kaiser also has prior convictions for past robberies in the same area. He was arrested and indicted for capital murder. The prosecutors then set out to seek the death penalty for killing a disabled veteran. Unfortunately, due to a clerical error, the judge dismissed the case without prejudice, which means the case can be retried. Unfortunately, as of 2024, Donald's murder remains unsolved.
Her community page, Southern Girl Crime Stories, her community page, 2 hours ago, she
Okay, smoke
posted,
another one.
important update, June 8th, 2024. I've always said that threats and harassment over a case are not worth it, and I will always remove it if it gets too bad. Something I've acted on a couple of other times. Unfortunately, we are at that point again, which has led me to make the hard decision to remove the Donald Cameron Atwater Jr. case. This case really brought some people out of the woodwork, and honestly, the safety of my family and me is more important than one unsolved case. Sorry, y'all. I really hope that Donald's case gets officially solved and the murderer is put behind bars.
That is fucking amazing. Yeah. I'm telling you, you give a motherfucker enough rope, and sooner or later he'll hang himself. I got to go to bed. Hope you all have a blessed night. Thank you, brother. I hope the same to you. And thank you for hanging out with us tonight. I normally do a Wednesday night highlights. I think I'm going to start doing a little more, though. I need to start getting some more content out and getting the sub base up more and more. I'm just a little chew toy. So, PG shit, no. What's rated PG? Not here.
What's PG? Wingspan Angel, I think we all would like to know where that money is coming from.
Yeah, definitely. And if any of this
Woodworking,
stuff
I
that
bet.
any of this stuff that I've been given a little information about to do some diving comes true, um, we might find out where.
And Oklahoma Outlaw Audits has come up with an idea of maybe where all the money is coming from, and that would be woodworking, Meade County woodworking. But that's just a
Very
guess.
possible.
Well, we've been pushing it almost 3 hours, so I think I'm going to wind it down. I sure do appreciate everybody hanging out with me tonight. It's good being back. And we're going to get some definite things rolling. Again, like we said earlier, if you feel like Jerk My Johnson has been doing anything unethical, uh, be sure and go to that website and file your complaint with your grievance with your government. So, and we need to do those before Wednesday. So, make sure you get your phone calls in and your letters in if you so desire. I would never try to encourage you. I'm only saying do what you feel right about. So, Nick and TB, thanks for coming up. It's always a blast. Wingspan, love you, girl. You was the first one in, waiting, talking to me for you. We got almost an hour ahead of time. Always count on you. So, I will probably be back on in a couple of days. So, y'all all have a good one. God bless you. Be good to one another, and I'll see you in the next one.